Thanks for joining us for the news at 6. I'm Morgan Romero. In Decision 2022, voters in the Vallivue School District have a decision to make. Next Tuesday, Vallivue has a bond and a levy up for a vote. Our Andrew Bartline learned why the district is asking for this money and what it'll pay for. Andrew.
Well, let's start with the levy, Morgan. Vallivue is under a current levy worth $4.5 million. It expires at the end of June. The levy they're asking for, that's up for vote next week, is worth the same value over the same time frame. It's $4.5 million and runs for 2 full years. The cost of the levy remains the same, where the property value is taxed at $77 per 100,000 in assessed property value. Vallivue says it's had a supplemental levy for the last 34 years, and the money goes into its general budget. The money pays for teachers, learning programs, after-school sports, really any program that isn't already supported by state dollars. Without the levy, Vallivue spokesperson Joe Palmer says they would have to make some changes.
We would have to be looking at cutting staff. We would have to look at getting rid of some learning programs. Perhaps students would have to pay to play in sports. So there's all sorts of things that would go on the cutting board.
If the levy doesn't pass, Palmer says property taxes would not drop. People would still pay the same property tax. The district would just use what they collect to pay down previous bonds at a faster rate. Vallivue refinanced previous bonds, and Palmer says that saved them $15 million in interest payments, which allows Vallivue to propose a bond next Tuesday as well to build 2 new elementary schools.
This is a bond that we wanted to share with our patrons in 2019. But we thought, let's try to keep mitigating the growth and get our middle school alleviated because they were suffering the worst at the time. Now our elementary schools are over capacity, our portable buildings are over capacity, and we're not doing this to keep up with the growth, we're doing this to catch up with the growth.
Now, this bond is a $55 million bond. It's supplemented in part by state funds. Palmer says $49.8 million will come from taxpayers. It's a 20-year bond, and it funds the potential 2 new schools and its construction to its entirety. The cost comes out to $42 per 100,000 in assessed property value. The district is currently managing their growth with those portable buildings, but Palmer says portables are a short-term solution and the district needs more schools. Palmer adds hiring teachers is very competitive right now, and for Vallivue to provide quality education, they're going to need quality teachers, and it's hard to attract those teachers without the resources that good teachers would want.
Yeah,
Morgan.
Of course, Andrew, you know, those, like you said, those portables are not a permanent solution, but we do see year after year school districts going to voters and asking for more money to help foot the bill for growth. And so I'm sure they expect if it doesn't pass now, they're going to ask voters again. Yeah,
and you know, it just keeps growing. I think he said there's 12,000 apartment units or schools that are going to be built here in the next couple of years. They need to prepare for that and catch up for the growth that they're already missing.
Wow, a lot of growth in the western part of the valley. Andrew Bartline, thank you. Other Idaho school bond and levy elections will be on many voters' ballots on March 8th. You can check out our voter guide at ktvb.com or text the word VOTE to that number right there on your screen. We'll send a link to the guide directly to your phone.